welcome back to my channel. My name is Serap. I'm a user experience researcher and a former UX manager. In my first video, I briefly talked about what led me to quit my job, what my job was, and how I felt, what I experienced from the time I decided that I wanted to quit until I gave my official notice. In this video, I want to give a detailed account of why I quit my dream job. In order to explain why I quit, first I need to explain why this was my dream job. After I received my doctoral degree, I worked as a human factors expert at a consulting firm. And quickly I realized that consulting was not for me. I had to put in 60 to 70 hours every week in order to be able to meet the billable hours that was expected from me. And I did not like that schedule. After working there for 2 years, I've decided to quit. I started looking into jobs in the user experience research field. I thought this would be the best for me considering my background, and I was really interested in tech, so I thought this would suit me well. And I got a really good job at a really well-known good company. I was over the moon, but this was my first UX job. I really liked my manager at the time, and I was gonna work on a photos app, and that was interesting and exciting. Shortly after I joined the team though, there was a big reorganization and I was pulled under the manager who hired me and I was given to another one. Unfortunately though, my new manager was to this day the worst manager I've ever had. He did not trust me for whatever reason, and I couldn't send even an email to my stakeholders without him seeing it first. He would constantly tell me what I was doing wrong. I didn't get any good feedback. The feedback I got was mostly criticizing how I conducted myself in meetings. That and some other toxic behavior happened. I worked with this person for 2 years. I learned a lot from him. However, I think I was subject to psychological abuse, and there were disparaging comments. Anyhow, I liked the job, I liked the product, but I did not like my manager. I decided to reach out to a recruiter who was in touch with me around the time I got an offer from this company. So I reached back and said, "I'm ready if you're still interested." And they reached back to me quite fast, and I passed the phone interview and I was invited to an on-site interview. I was so excited, and my interview went really well. And in a month or two, they gave me the offer, and after I signed, I gave my notice. And this was also the company where my husband was working at the time. And the office I would be working in was 5-minute walking distance from my kids' daycare. I've started working there and I immediately realized how lucky I was. First thing that I was so happy about was my manager. He was an amazing manager. He trusted me and he gave me the freedom I needed to do my job, basically. He said I was the expert and I conducted myself accordingly. And I was working on an enterprise-facing product, very technical. I started learning about the product. I met with a lot of engineers, I met with product managers, and I've started just drinking the knowledge. I liked it so much that I would spend my free time learning about the product and the space. It was not expected of me, and I did it because I wanted to do it and I loved it. So the second reason I really loved this job was the people on the team. They were extremely supportive, and there was this other researcher on the team. She was absolutely lovely, and she's a good friend of mine now. and she was such a nice, knowledgeable, smart person who was on my corner. She didn't see me as a competitor. She genuinely wanted me to succeed. And seeing her example, I've basically did what she did to me, to other people who joined the team, or other researchers and other UX people on other teams. I really wanted them to succeed, and I tried to help them in any way I can. And I reaped the benefits of it. People respected me. People enjoyed working with me, and they said so. And that was wonderful. The third reason I really liked my job was my stakeholders listened to me, respected me, and trusted me. I've started learning the business side of things as well as the technical parts by asking a lot of questions, by being curious about the product and the business. I started gaining their confidence. The most important thing that they knew that I was the expert, and they've actually heeded the recommendations that I provided them as a result of my research. My research was really impactful and had a long shelf life. What does that mean? It means that the research is over and over again being referenced. So that all felt amazing. I felt like I was doing something useful, and my decisions, my judgment was valued. Fourth reason, that was a bit of a privilege, but I was able to travel for my work to wherever within the United States or outside. And I was able to do great research with our customers across the world. And I believe that those insights that I generated from those interviews, from those customers, I know that they were useful for various teams at the company. Another reason why I was so happy there was the culture of the company. People respected each other. No one sent emails, or very rarely after 5 p.m. And if they did send an email after 5 p.m., they would apologize. No one expected you to work on the weekends. I believe that the company knew if you keep the employees happy, they will do their best work. Once the pandemic hit, everything had changed. We used to be part of a central UX team, and we had the resources we wanted, whether that was headcount, whether that was being able to travel somewhere for research. The user experience teams started reporting to the product. So we started reporting to, instead of a UX director, to an engineering director, and immediately our team shrunk. The new director expected us to prove our value to him for him to be able to give us resources that we needed. Needless to say, everything else was a priority. We didn't get any resources, no headcount for, I believe, for 2 years or so. And then people stopped listening to us, and it almost turned into you had to prove yourself again and again every time a new person joined the team. It didn't matter all the work that you've done, all the impact that you proved you had on the team. And the company started hiring people from outside. New hires didn't seem to have these cultural values, workplace values ingrained in them. And they started to change things. The emails at any time of the day became a new normal. Everyone was stressed. The point of working there had become carrying out orders as opposed to thinking for yourself, understanding the business, and doing what's right for the team, for the product, and for our customers. It wasn't that anymore. I will give you a very concrete example. We would hear from the CEO of that business unit that the UX was outdated and it had to be renewed. And when we asked, okay, what about the UX that's outdated? Which parts? And then we said, okay, what can we do? What is the specific feedback here? What are we looking for? What is the intended outcome? And then the answer we got from the people beneath the CEO were, well, actually, we don't know. Well, can we talk to the CEO? Well, so-and-so doesn't want other people to be talking to him. Therefore, no, we cannot ask. So we're just going to guess and we're going to try to do something that will please this person. Essentially, what happened is that we were told not to think, just to do. And that did not sit right with me. I loved being a people manager. I loved my team. I think I had the best research team out there. And I was so sad when I was leaving that I wasn't going to work with them anymore and I wasn't going to be their manager anymore. But I just couldn't stand being in a place where I used to thrive, where I felt like I was in a professional heaven, to this miserable condition where no one was happy and everyone was complaining about not being able to have decision-making power. It just didn't sit right with me and I had to quit, even though that was the hardest decision I had to make. And I wasn't nurtured anymore there, and I needed a place where I can be myself, and I knew my value. By the end of my time there, I knew what my skills were, but the place wasn't giving me a chance to show this properly. So I decided, you know what, I want to do the work that I think is important and valuable as opposed to doing what someone else tells me to do. I'm not interested in going to another corporation where UX research is not valued, is treated like it doesn't matter. And I am kind of sick and tired of trying to tell people why UX should matter. I don't think we should need to prove over and over and argue over and over what the benefit of this discipline is to people who are not interested in even hearing that argument. I'd like to think that I outgrew that company. I learned a lot there. I grew a lot professionally. And I am forever grateful for the opportunity that I had to do the work that I've done and to work with the amazing people who worked there with me. And the customers too. There were so many lovely customers. And it was amazing to see what they could do with the products that we provided them. I'm so glad that I get to experience what it feels like to feel so happy at work and feel content. And I'm forever grateful that I was able to experience this, because I know there are a lot of people out there who don't get to experience this at all. But this place showed me what kind of difference a good workplace and good managers can do for people. But we all know that only constant in our lives is the change itself. In conclusion, I was so happy at my job because I had a great manager who trusted me and I had independence. I had great stakeholders who trusted me and valued the research I've done. 3, I had amazing colleagues, teammates who trusted me, supported me, wanted me to be successful. 4, the company had a great culture that valued employees. Even though the trust with individual stakeholders was there, the leadership didn't really believe in the work that we've done. Or if they did, they had a poor way of showing this. We weren't able to make decisions anymore, and we turned into order-carrying pawns. That's how I felt. And the culture of the company changed drastically. So all of these contributed to me quitting. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know in the comments if you have any questions for me. Bye-bye.